Hey, what's up everybody? This is me and welcome to Borderlands 2, or I guess back to Borderlands 2, because this is actually, I'm going to be redoing the Pearlescent video that I did just over a year ago. It was not a good video. I didn't even know about like 4 of the Pearlescents. I didn't know the special effects of a couple of them, so I'm going to be redoing it, and it's going to be a couple Pearlescents per video. I'm going to keep it to like 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm just going to show off all that I know about the weapons, where you can kind of farm them, and the best build and the best character for these Pearlescents to get the most out of them. So first, we're going to be going over the Unforgiven. Now, the Unforgiven is, well, obviously, it's a Pearlescent Jacob's pistol. Now, each Pearlescent has a kind of, I guess you could say, gimmick. The thing with the Unforgiven is that it has increased critical hit damage. So it has the normal 25% bonus critical hit damage that you get with Jacob's, as well as 100% extra critical hit damage. It does have high recoil, so pretty decent kick there. The issue with this gun is the fire rate. So as you can see on the card here, I keep going back to this, but as you can see on the card, it says fire rate is 2.2, so that's 2.2 shots a second, which is fully accurate. I'm clicking as fast as I can. I don't have any fire rate modifiers on. My skill tree is entirely empty. So this is as fast as you can shoot, which is, it's obviously very, very slow, especially for Jacobs, where normally you would be able to fire as fast as you can click. So I'm here on 0, and I'm going to be just kind of showing off the best build to get the most out of this. You can boost it, the gun's fire rate as well as the critical hit damage. Yeah, it can become fairly decent. So I have here a Disturbed Stalker class mod, which will give me plus 31% fire rate as well as magazine size, almost 50% mag size. I also have here the Sheriff's Badge, which will give me another 50% fire rate as well as extra damage, which is really useful. Okay, so this is my skill tree. This is my just balanced 0 skill tree that is kind of good for everything, but not particularly advanced. Now, the most important one here is Two Fang. So Two Fang, as you can see in the description there, every time you fire a gun, you have a chance to fire twice. So that is really useful for getting the most out of the Unforgiven. And even though I have a matching grip, this is the max, like that 2.2 fire rate is the max fire rate that you will get with like no modifiers, no fire rate boosters, no nothing. Okay, so now that I have the build kind of set up and all this, I've got the fire rate boosters, which is going to be really useful, and nothing else is boosting fire rate other than the class mod and the relic. So the new fire rate with all of those, all the modifiers and everything, is definitely a lot more usable. It's still not as fast as I can click, but with the fire rate boosters and Two Fang, it's really good. Like, it's a marked improvement from what it was previously. So let's just check out the damage here. So the base damage on a critical is, what was that, 10 million? Yep. So yeah, 10 million damage is pretty good. Now, granted, none of these are slagged, so I could be doing even more. But yeah, that killed that guy. These guys are kind of known for being beefy but slow. So yeah, being able to kill them in like 4 or 5 shots is pretty good. Let's see Deathmark. So with Deathmark, I can do 80% more damage. Now, it is obviously still not the greatest because the slow fire rate really kills it pretty handily, which does suck a lot. Nope, don't do that. Okay. So now with slag, that's triple damage I'm able to do, as well as Deathmark here. Hey, this is me from the future. I've just rewatched that segment, and I realized that I kept mentioning Deathmark without actually explaining what it is. So, Deathmark is one of Zero's skills that when you melee an enemy, you deal an additional 80% damage for 8 seconds, and that is damage from all sources, so melee, gun, damage over time, grenade, whatever. So it's a very useful skill. And the other skill that I was using is Death Blossom. Now, basically, when you're in Deception, you can press your action skill button again 5 additional times, and you will each time throw a handful of kunai, which, as you may have seen, will explode into a random element. So, with that, you have a chance to apply slag, or fire, or shock, or corrosive to your target. And the death mark will be applied, because kunai technically counts as a melee attack. So, if I were to go into Deception here, throw this kunai, you can see that he is now deathmarked. So he will take 80% extra damage. I didn't get slag there, but I did get fire. As you can see, you're coming very close. If you could do less of that. Thank you. So yeah, that's just 2 very useful skills that have fantastic synergy within Zero's skill tree. And now back to past me, which is future me for the video, but past me for me, and even further past me for you. So yeah, with a critical hit, that's pretty decent as long as they're slagged. Yeah. So, obviously, when you're in UVHM, you want to be slagging things as much as possible. So being able to slag them and just deal that kind of insane damage is definitely possible. I'm actually going to switch out this for a magic missile so I can slag more easily. We got some more enemies here. Slag them up. Yeah, critical hits are really good. 2 or 3 shots from the Unforgiven, which is definitely a huge improvement from what it usually is. Uh-oh. Don't do that. Now, because it is a lot better with critical hits, body shots are not going to deal very much damage. I'm pretty sure, in terms of actual base damage, like a purple matching grip Jacobs will do more damage. But this is good for this is really good for critical hit damage. Alright, I'm now over here in the Friendship Gulag, so I can go up against some loaders, which you will be fighting a lot more commonly than those tree dudes. So let's just toss a few of these around. Oh, that guy got hit a lot. Ow! So, especially coming out of Deception, the damage on this is going to be boosted even more because of the way that Deception actually works. So yeah, slagged up is regularly doing like 2 to 3 shots is a kill. The exploders are weaker than normal loaders. They're going down fairly easily. Yeah, slagged up. Easy. Good. You back up. Thank you. There we go. So again, the fire rate is the main limiting factor of this. But as long as you have the boosters, as long as you have the fire rate boosters, you should be pretty good. Just as long as you actually hit your shots, which I am not doing consistently. Come on. I don't know what I'm boring there. Now, the weapon sway on this gun when you shoot it for a while, as I said right at the beginning, it does have fairly decent recoil, so the weapon sway just kind of goes all over the place. Okay, so I actually have a special version of the Unforgiven. Could you... No. Okay, I actually have a special version of the Unforgiven, which is called the Trick Shot Unforgiven. It's a prefix that allows your bullets to ricochet. I don't really have a good way of showing it, but you might be able to see on the left-hand side of your screen. The bullet is ricocheting. You can see the sparks and the actual tracer. So I don't really know if there's any way to actually take advantage of that, just because of you know, it's not exactly a good strategy to be shooting at the floor. So yeah, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that very much. Aha, another scene transition. Alright, so I'm now over in 1,000 Cuts, just to go up against some bandit enemies. There's no bandit enemies because I have Rocco's Modern Strife active. Okay, so I'm now in South Boss Demon Power, just to kind of show off against regular bandits. Because you're not going to be fighting loaders exclusively. Let's just get this guy going. Wow, that was... Is my sham not working? Can I get some bullet absorption, please? Thank you. Wait, was it actually not working? Oh, wow, that was a bore. So yeah, even non-slagged against these guys is pretty good. Owie! If you could do less of that. So yeah, even non-slagged, it does pretty good work. But oh man, the kick is weird. Now the Pearlescents, like all of the Pearlescents, definitely need some improving and get some improving in a way. Okay, so let's take out this guy. There's a one-shot for his shield, but he was death marked and slagged and coming out of deception, and it still wasn't that good. You. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Non-slag, just death mark. This guy's slagged now. Yeah, you're definitely hidden there. Yeah, so would have been a 2-shot if I had hit my shots, but again, the recoil is very strong, very strange. So I realize that I keep saying recoil, but what I actually mean is weapon sway. Because the weapon sway is random and very intense, it makes it a lot more difficult to hit consistent shots if you're going at the max fire rate. Okay, so in the last video of the Pearlescents that I did, I showed off what they were in the base game as well as what they were with the unofficial community patch on. So the unofficial community patch, if you don't know, is just a laundry list of improvements to the game, balance changes by Claptrap, making rare enemies respawn and drop certain things. It's just a huge improvement to the game. I would highly suggest using the patch just for anything, because you're able to farm certain things that you wouldn't be able to farm, or well, wouldn't be able to farm without read-only farming, which is always a pain. So I'm now going to turn that on so it is now active, and you're going to notice a change right away. So the community patch gives custom skins to all the pearlescents. It changes them, makes them look a lot nicer. Look at how slick that is. And you can already see in the card, the fire rate has been improved. It was 2.2, but now it's 5.3. The damage has been improved by about 150,000, I think, from what I can remember. And I'm pretty sure the max size is improved. Maybe not. That might just be me misremembering. But yeah, that improvement to the fire rate, it's a little bit noticeable. So now, with the same setup that I had earlier, it fires as fast as a regular Jacob's pistol, basically. Just as fast as you can click. And I think that it may have been balanced around being able to do that. As in, like, they may have changed the fire rate so that if you have this class mod and this relic, that you're able to shoot as fast as you would normally be able to with a regular Jacobs. Now, because the base damage has been increased as well, that means that this is just going to be fantastic even on body shots. So yeah, on body shots, it's as good as a regular Jacobs, but on criticals, I'm going to die. I'm not going to die. But on criticals, it is a huge improvement. Okay, so he's slagged up. He's an ultimate badass lunatic. And this is, oh my goodness, this is so much better. This is why I would highly suggest playing with the patch. Just quality of life improvements like this are absolutely amazing. Is he still over here? He is. Okay, so I'm going to slag him up, as well as Death Mark, and one shot. Oh, hey, and he dropped. The commerce is a patch thing, I think. It might not be. I know that they do drop patch weapons. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So yeah, the improvement to the Unforgiven, and actually to all the Pearlescents when you put the patch on, is massive. It's insane. And it actually makes them usable in normal gameplay. Whereas, as you may have been able to tell, they were really not usable. Just purely because of the fire rate and the low damage. The high critical hit does kind of make up for that, but you're not going to be going up against enemies with like super huge crit spots with a weapon like this. So the improvements made to this gun are absolutely fantastic. That was painful. Now, I never actually checked out this gun with the B shield because I didn't think it was necessary. The B shield wouldn't have added that much damage, I don't think, to the okay, so it would have added a lot. No, patch version. Maybe I should go back and test that out. But the issue with using the B shield against these enemies is that they'll be able to break it with a single bullet, and then you wouldn't be getting that amp damage. So maybe enemies with guns are not the best to go up against. And so, because of that, I've come over to the Arid Nexus Boneyard just to go up against these skags that, other than the salivating skag, do not have any kind of projectile attack. So yeah, with the B shield, it's pretty good. Okay, and there goes the B shield. But yeah, it's a huge improvement over the base game. I'm not sure if there's really anything else to say. The trick shot prefix has not changed at all. The bullets don't like seek out enemies. It's more just kind of a luck-based thing more than anything. Or like, oh, if you happen to get two enemies that line up perfectly to hit a ricochet shot, then, you know, that'll work. But otherwise, it's just kind of one of those things that, you know, it's a cool concept, but flawed. Okay, and that's pretty much going to do it for the Unforgiven. There's not really much else to talk about. So in summary, in the base game, you know, damage kind of low, fire rate abysmal. It's usable, but not good, even with the proper class mod and relics and like everything to just kind of boost the fire rate to the best that it can be, boost the critical hit damage and all that. But yeah, with the patch on, it is a huge improvement. Base damage, fire rate, the whole kit and caboodle. It's so much better. I'm gonna take this off. There we go. So it's just been made a lot better. The skin is even like a lot cooler looking. It doesn't just look like a regular Jacobs. It looks like a proper, like, super rare item. Yeah, it's definitely worth incorporating this into your build to kind of get the most of the critical hit damage, at least with the patch on. So let's just get one more kill. Hunter Helquist. Wow, I missed all of those shots. I'm good at this. Well, that was terrible. But yeah, that's the basic gist of the Unforgiven. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I apologize that there were kind of a lot of cuts. Like, even as I'm recording this, I can tell that this is going to be a choppy mess. Because I'm not used to recording this kind of thing. But hopefully, I do plan to do the rest of the Pearlescent, so hopefully I get better with some practice. And, yeah, if there's anything you would like to see improved other than, like, basic coherence, and please tell me in the comments, because, like the general layout of the testing or showing off or anything like that, tell me in the comments, because I'm going in blind. I don't know how to make guides like this. So any tips that you might have for just making it easier to watch and maybe easier for me to record, I don't know, you probably won't be thinking about that, but yeah, anything that you can kind of think might improve the video. Like, the less cuts, I will definitely try to keep the cuts down to a much lower degree in the next one. Long story short, I'll try to do my best when it comes to actually knowing what I'm saying and just kind of having a better understanding of how to record this kind of thing. So again, thank you for watching. Leave a comment on any tips that you might have, and I hope you have a good day.